using our resources to the best of our abilities and most productive ways. Promotion of tourism products. So you guys may think of tourism or a product as like a box of detergent on the grocery shelf or a Coke that you'd buy at the convenience store. Products in my line of work are things like trails and events and historic sites. And so promoting these products is what we do at my office. So we have a dedicated website, visit clevelandtn.com, search engine optimization, digital marketing, Google AdWords, social media channels like Facebook and Instagram. We do a visitor's guide, we do map pads, we do brochures, we do media relations. So we have tours that come through from the state tourism department, and we'll host media people, travel journalists, and also we have ads in the Tennessee Vacation Guide and Home and Farm. Now, this has changed so much since the 24 years since I started. We used to buy a little bitty ad in Southern Living for like $7,000 and hope that somebody would see it that month. It is so different now because you can spend $7,000 on social media and everybody sees your stuff. So it is amazing what we can do with the resources that we have now. We try to make sure that we market our community in 3 brand pillars. We don't have a beach. I don't know if y'all noticed that or not. Did y'all notice that? And we don't have a roller coaster. But what we do have is a little bit of a lot of good stuff. And so it's hard to communicate that unless you put it into some way to communicate it. So we have 3 brand pillars. One is outdoor adventure. So adventure, heritage, and charm are the 3 brand pillars that we use to explain the experience of visiting our community. So right next door to us, of course, in beautiful Polk County, there's the Ocoee River rafting, Hiwassee River floating and fun yaking, and of course our section of the Hiwassee River. We got hiking, biking, camping, picnicking, fishing, horseback riding. We also market our compelling history. We have a nationally significant story here with our Cherokee heritage. And part of that is at Red Clay, part of it is interpreted at the Hiwassee River Heritage Center, but it's all over this area. If you live in Bradley County, you live in where the Cherokee Nation used to be located. Civil War stories, TVA and industrialization, historic downtown, religious heritage, agricultural heritage. These are all things that we can gain products out of and experiences that we can market to visitors. And then the next one is Southern Charm. We have a walkable downtown, unique dining, cute shops. And we have Stampers. Everybody just kind of takes for granted the things that have been around. Stampers is 100 years old, and it's right here on the downtown square. We just kind of take, the courthouse is here and Stampers is there. You just don't realize that people come here just to shop at Stampers. Events in all seasons, farm fun, vineyards, orchards, corn mazes. So what prompted my visit to you tonight is the Department of Tourist Development releases a study each year, and it's the latest economic impact figures for all 95 counties of Tennessee. The study is called 2022 Economic Impact of Travel on Tennessee. I've got the study. I've got 2 copies of it in my office if anybody ever wants to see it, but I'm going to give you the highlights. What's the impact of tourism on our community? What is the impact of visitors coming and spend their money? For instance, Denny, if you go on vacation, or Commissioner Collins, if you go on vacation, what's the number one thing that you do on vacation? Eat, and costs
Money.
money. So, Commissioner Slater, when you go on vacation, what's the number one thing that you do? And it costs money. So the number one thing that you do when you go on vacation and that I do is spend money. Spend money is your number one activity. People spend money in our community to the tune of $178.5 million just in Bradley County in 2022. That is a 5.8% increase over the spending in 2021. And it's a 28% increase in spending over 2020 because that was our COVID year. Thank goodness we weren't hit too hard, but we bounced back and then some. So I'm very, very pleased with that nice 5.8% growth rate. We've had years where we've been the highest growth rate in the whole state, higher than Memphis, higher than Nashville, higher than Chattanooga or any of those other big cities. And those were the times when Walker was being built and all of our hotels were being stayed in, all of our restaurants were being eaten in, and all those folks there, that 2,500 people at one time were building Bacher, so they had to stay and sleep and eat somewhere. And we reaped the benefits off of that. Visitors generated, I want you to pay close attention to this. Visitors generated $17.5 million in local and state sales tax. $17.5 million in local and state sales tax. That's a tax savings of $428 per household. That's services that were paid for by visitors that households did not have to reach into their pockets and pay themselves. Our visitors paid them. So let's give them a big old hug when we see a visitor, because they're helping us pay for our police and fire protection, our roads, the things that we enjoy as citizens. The greatest thing that I do in my job and the impact on the community is I'm a hometown girl. I went to Bradley High School with Tim Mason, and I'm a hometown person, and I get the privilege of marketing my own hometown to visitors. So that is just the greatest honor of my life, to be able to market and promote my own hometown. And whatever I do for visitors, or whatever we do at the chamber for visitors to make a visitor experience more pleasant, it's more pleasant for residents. They reap the benefits as well. So that's a wonderful bonus. How is tourism development funded? So the Chamber's Tourism Development Division is funded through a portion of the lodging tax. So that's a pass-through tax that is paid for by visitors to the hotels. You all collect it, and then I get 19.6% of it. The remaining distribution goes to Tri-State Exhibition Center, Chamber's Economic Development Division, the county's general fund, and towards satisfying the bonds for the Spring Branch Industrial Park. So this is the part where I, have just a tiny bit of whining and say that most cities our size are funded through their lodging tax to the tune of about 80 to 90%. But the only reason I want to point that out to you is because we do a lot with a little. The resources that you give us, we are good stewards of it, and we do a lot with those resources. So I just want to make sure that you all understand that I very much appreciate that 19.6%, and we use it to the utmost at the Chamber of Commerce. Potential tourism products I already mentioned: events, stories, experiences, trails, tours, historic sites, exhibits, museums, sporting events. Placemaking. Placemaking is the process of creating quality places where people want to live, work, and play, and learn, and visit. And so I'm much in the business of placemaking. I have an ad agency that does a lot of our promotion. I manage our promotional efforts and our digital marketing, and that frees me up to be able to do this, and that is placemaking and come up with great ideas, like the Redback Hymnal exhibit. I learned through our connections and through relationships that I had built across the state. The Tennessee State Historian was here on another subject matter talking about Cherokee history, Commissioner Thompson, and he said, Melissa, the state is going to come out with a music trail, and if you don't get something that people can see, you're not going to be on it. So typical, set my pants on fire and get to work. And so I brought a committee of people together, and for 2 years, we talked about who are we. And one of the first things I told them when we got in that room is I looked at all of them and I said, okay, we're the gospel music capital of the world, right? And they looked at me and they said, no. And I knew that we weren't. But I said, then what are we? What is our story? What's different than anybody else? Anybody in southern U.S. can have a gospel music story, but nobody is the home of the Redback Hymnal except Cleveland Bradley, Tennessee. So that hymnal was started printing in 1951 at Tennessee Music and Printing, which is now Pathway Press, and millions of copies of it went all over the world from Cleveland, Tennessee, and nobody else can say that. So that's what I do as a tourism marketer. I find out what our story is that nobody else has. So there we are on the Tennessee Music Pathways Trail. We were on it. I sat at a governor's conference on tourism when they started talking about the trail, when they finally got it funded, and here we appeared on it just like magic. because we'd done the work and gotten it set up. The Hiwassee River Heritage Center is another one of my projects, and I helped to raise $750,000 to buy and expand that center, and also to do the trail in the back. That was a $250,000 federal grant to do the Trail of Tears tribute trail in the back of that center. Led the charge with the Charleston Calhoun Hiwassee Historical Society, a wonderful bunch of folks in the north part of your county, and we are so proud of what we could do there. Charleston was the operational headquarters for the entire Cherokee Trail of Tears removal. So if you don't know that, please go to this center and learn a little bit more about it. And Darlene Goins is up there to talk to you about it. There's the trail in the back that we got the federal grant for. And there is one of our official National Park Service signs that we are allowed to use now, because that center is certified by the National Park Service on the National Trail of Tears Historic Trail. Anybody have a passport from the national park? A national park passport? I've got one. I got it at Mount Rushmore. And guess what? I can go to Charleston, Tennessee and have it stamped with a National Park Service stamp. I can also do that at Red Clay. Come on. Don't fail me now. This stuff doesn't just happen. I've been working on that Cherokee project for over 15 years, and I've built relationships with all these people, and so have the folks in Charleston at the Historical Society. These things don't just happen overnight. Somebody's out there building relationships on your behalf. Speaking of weird things that come from people's brains, the Cowpea Festival is a way to fund the Hiwassee River Heritage Center. And so this year we cleared about $35,000 with the Cowpea Festival so that it could go to the operations of that Heritage Center. You got to be able to keep the doors open and pay the bills, and that's what the Harvest Festival with a funny name does. We are headed toward our 12th festival on September 14th, 2024. That celebrates an agricultural history in Charleston. Anybody can have a harvest festival. Anybody can have a harvest festival, but nobody has a Cowpea Festival except for Charleston, Tennessee. Nobody in the whole world. That's why it's international. It's not just a silly festival either. It has actual goals that we've met about and we've set, and we strive for these goals. We raise awareness of Charleston and the history that's there, celebrate community and cowpeas. It's a community connector. Grow to a regional draw, which is where I come in. I want people to come here and spend their money and go back home. And I raise operational funds for the Hiwassee River Heritage Center and create a sense of place for the Charleston community. And they are really proud of that festival. We had over 5,000 people at the festival last year. There's some fun sites from it. Bush Brothers, we are so grateful for their sponsorship and all the other sponsors that we have. And then another crazy idea is the Hot Slaw Festival. Y'all, anybody can have an arts festival. Anybody. But nobody has a Hot Slaw and Art Y'all Festival. So we've got the third one coming up on April the 6th. It's a nonprofit festival as well, and we raise funds for public art projects. And it is a partnership between Artists Here Partnership, Visit Cleveland at the Chamber of Commerce, Main Street Cleveland, and City of Cleveland. And it's kind of being known now as the city's or the community's main festival. And as you all know, Hot Slaw is pretty famous around these parts. There are 12 restaurants that carry it regularly. There are 5 grocery stores that carry it regularly. And if you go to Athens or you go to Chattanooga, nobody knows what you're talking about. But I realized that on a media tour. I had 14 culinary journalists here from all over the South, and I started talking about Hot Slaw. We were sitting at Jenkins, and I started talking about Hot Slaw, and they didn't know what I was talking about because I grew up here. I thought everybody knew what it was. So what do? We form a festival about it and have people come here and spend their money and go back home and have fun as residents. So event goals, raise awareness of local artists. We have a very vibrant local arts community. Celebrate community and the unique history of Hot Slaw. Grow to a regional draw, raise funds for public arts projects, and create a sense of place for the Cleveland community. There it is. There's Sammy the Slaw Dog, and this is the big crowd that was gathered to watch the Slaw Dog eating contest. That was the first year. And then we also do a songwriters qualifying round in conjunction with the State Department of Tourism. They have a Tennessee Songwriters Week, and we do a qualifying round here. We have about 350 people that come. We hold it at the museum, and our contestants that race to the top go to Knoxville or to Chattanooga. And this year we've got the opportunity to send 2 folks to Knoxville, and it will be in January. BMX track improvements. So I've been working with Chris Knowles at the BMX bike racing track. You have one of only 4 active USA BMX approved tracks in the state of Tennessee. And Chris has put a lot of his sweat and tears into improving this track. Mayor Davis has been great to partner with him and with us on improving the track. You can see it looks great. I'm fortunate enough to have some ARPA funds. That's the Americans Recovery Act from COVID. And I'm planning to purchase a new start gate for the BMX track to the tune of $29,000. So I'm purchasing that from the Chamber of Commerce with my ARPA funds. And Chris turned backflips when I told him that. But that's going to allow them to be in better running for a national race. So a national BMX race would bring in a lot of money to the track and a lot of money to our community. So that's what we're headed for. And there is, we're putting in a national race bid. It's due by the end of this month. And then other ongoing projects are things like Friday festivals. The Chamber partners with Main Street Cleveland to put on free festivals every Friday in June. Bacher sponsors those. We're doing Christmas on the Square with a partnership with Main Street on November the 17th. And we sponsor museum programming and partner with them. We're part of the Civil War Trails. We're part of, because of that Tennessee state historian that I am friends with through all the things that we've been doing the last 15 years with Cherokee Heritage, he came down with his students from MTSU and completely renovated the red clay exhibit that had not been touched in 40 years. And so it is fantastic. If you've not been down there to see it, it's wonderful. And we support their programming and projects. And then right now we are helping to plan the 2024 National Trail of Tears Conference. It's going to be held in Hamilton and Bradley counties coming up in October of 2024. So we're very excited to be a part of that. Another place that we are kind of a sense of place is Art House. It's a shared studio incubator, and it's located underneath the Cleveland City Ballet in the old woolen mill. And I sit on the Artists Here Partnership Board, and we have helped with our ARPA funds to do a startup of this shared studio. There's a lady that's there. This is the best way I can explain this studio. There's a lady there named Lila. Lila works at Subway building sandwiches. Lila is a fantastic artist. She shares one of these studios. There's no way Lila could do that on her own. She doesn't have the resources to do that. But Lila's artwork is fantastic, and she's now there at Art House sharing her ideas, building inspiration from other artists that are there, and she's making art and painting there at Art House. So it's a wonderful thing. We are headed toward Sew In, which is south of Inman. I don't know if you're familiar with New York City. South of Houston Street is Soho. South of Broadway in Nashville is Sobro. And south of Inman, we hope to be Sew In, and that will be an arts district that we can offer up as a place to host visitors and residents alike. Future projects. I've been talking with Mylan a lot about sports development. I've also talked with the city manager about that, and I am willing to put forth some of my ARPA funds to partner with the city and the county to do a sports assessment of what our properties are, what needs to be addressed, what's the competition like. I mean, is there some kind of crawdad tournament we're not taking advantage of, that there's nothing like that in the region? What's our potential that we're not addressing? Arts developments in the future and present, grow what we've created and be open to new ideas. And this is just a little fun thing that over the last 24 years, as I was looking back to do this presentation for you, I ran across the 1999 figures when I first started at the Chamber, And the figures now, and they've increased in the last 24 years, 140.1% increase in visitor spending and a 180% increase in sales tax collected. So I'm pretty proud of those numbers, and happy that we were able to see a nice increase and healthy growth rate in our visitor spending. So with that, I'll take anybody's questions if you're still awake. Anybody have questions about what we do? My door is always open at the chamber. I love to talk about this stuff. I could keep you here till about 10:30, but I know you don't want that. But I love this community. I love what I do, and I'm very blessed to have this job. It's my dream job, and I'm happy to be able to serve my community in this way. So thank y'all for your time.
Thank you, Melissa. We appreciate that report, and we appreciate what you do. Lots of exciting things going on in our community that a lot of people don't even realize. So many of them. While she takes that down, you have in front of you the updated ARP plan. I'll go over and explain the latest developments in it. You see the parts highlighted in yellow. Everyone have the plan in front of you. The parts highlighted in yellow are the parts that have not yet been approved. They're merely becoming part of the plan. Everything else has been approved. The water projects in yellow in that top right box are going to be approved tonight, so that yellow would go away. The Sheriff's Department fence in the middle bottom part, that would go away. But as of right now, what's in yellow are parts or things that we've added to the plan based on requests from various departments and so forth, and have not been approved. In other words, we'll be having to come back to you with amendments before those can actually happen. They need to be part of the plan before we can move forward. On the water bucket, this $385,000 that's in yellow, like I said, you'll be approving tonight. That'll bring the water bucket to $1,152,708. With the two additions to affordable housing, that'll bring the housing bucket to $1,113,375. Again, the parts in yellow have not been approved, but are merely becoming part of the plan. Of course, your essential worker pay bucket, $7 million. Your sewer bucket is all allocated. I'll give you an update on sewer in a minute, but it's all been allocated. It's $1,018,070. And broadband, still waiting on it to happen, but $4 million is committed to that. So spread fairly over the things that you all approved early on to spend on ARP. The box in the middle has been growing as we moved on. This is the box that is at the county's discretion, and we've been spending it, I think, wisely for things at the Sheriff's Department, Ambulance Department, Sheriff's Road Department, various departments. And what's in the yellow at the bottom are what's yet to be done once they become part of this plan. You have a letter explaining to you about the fire engine request from the chief. Actually, it's fire engines with an S on it. We've got another request from the road department. This includes money for a tractor and 4, I guess, salt spreaders. He actually requested money for 2 tractors, but there's money there for 1 tractor, 4 spreaders. Of course, the fence you're going to approve tonight. The Justice Center phone system, I don't know if all of you have heard about that or not, but we'll be replacing the phone system, which is in its last leg, outdated and so forth, at the entire Justice Center as well as the courthouse and annex. Right now, it's just at the Justice Center, so it's listed as the Justice Center phone system. That amount should take care of the purchase part of it. A lot of it will be ongoing annual fees, of course, like any phone system, but the things that have to be purchased will be covered with the ARP funding. And then Tri-State, there's a small amount there to end it all up. And I think Mylan is in the process of verifying, but if you add all the buckets up, they come to $20,999,100, which is the amount that we receive from the federal government. Now, I know some are going to say, what about the interest? The interest is accumulating as we speak. The one good thing about things like broadband that haven't been spent yet, they're committed to, but that money's still in the bank drawing interest. So the interest is accumulating. The bottom left corner tells you the amount set aside for development district fees. and it's being paid from the interest, but that's the only thing that's coming from the interest. When we're through with all of these buckets, we'll have a decent pot of money of interest that has been made off of them, and that's to be spent at your all's discretion also. I hope that you don't try to spend interest money until we're through, let it accumulate in the meantime, and then you will have a pretty decent bucket of interest money to come in the near future. All right, having said that, I'll stop and answer questions. Surely there's some now. Yes.
Commissioner Rogers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just for clarification, Mayor, the phone system, is that just for the Justice Center, or is like that 50,000 covers the cost of the courthouse, the annex, and
It
the
should
Justice
cover
Center?
both.
Cover everything.
Yeah, I'm just listing it as Justice Center, but it's approximately, it'll be two different projects. I'll say that for obvious reasons, but it's approximately 25 each on the purchase part of it. We already have, by the way, when we put in that new system, it's going to be what you call a internet-based phone system, is that right? Voice over IP. There'll be ongoing annual or monthly fees that has to be paid. They're pretty much in line with what we're already paying, but everything we have now will go away and it'll be a voice over IP system in place. Like I said, right now it's getting to the point where we can't even buy parts if something tears up. So our system here was put in 20, I believe, in 2000, and the Justice Center was put in 2004. So that it's time to replace them, and this is a good way to do it with the ARP money.
Commissioner Slater, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mayor, do you have an update on where the community service shelter is in their project?
Where the what?
The shelter?
Oh, they had to start all over and get an
Again?
architect. That has been done. I don't know if anything's happened since the architect. The development district has stepped in and is helping them now. We should have done that to start with, but it's going to move. It's needed more than probably any of the projects here, but they didn't start it out like they should have and had to start over.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner
What
Thompson.
she's talking about there is in the affordable housing bucket, the community shelter, the $100,000. The city committed $100,000, so they've got a $200,000 addition to build additional homeless shelters. What I was trying to think of, but I don't know the new timeline on it.
Commissioner Thompson, please.
Elrod Park.
Sir?
Elrod Park lights.
Elrod Park lights are in here. They're already up there in that middle thing. You go up, you'll see them about halfway. Is that what you?
Yeah, what's the timeline?
He's got the price. They're working on it. It will happen sometime. It's budgeted, so it will happen sometime in the winter months before spring baseball, I think is his timeline.
Commissioner Gilbert.
Sewer update. Sewer update.
Okay, well, I'll switch to that. I was going to do that next, but the RC&D, 89 contracts, 76 of them have been finished. I'm convinced they're going to drag it to the first of the year. But anyway, 76 out of 89, so that's 13 more to go. Of our 18 projects that we did in-house, 14 of them have been done, so we've got 4 more to go. I think each one of them is probably, in the last month, they've done 3, and we've done 1 in-house. So 4 have been done in the last month. Going to that rate, we'll probably be finished about January-ish. But it's all committed, so.
Anyone else? Commissioner Woods.
Is road striping completed?
Oh, no, that'll be ongoing. It's all been PO'd. He PO'd the full amount. I don't know the latest amount that's been spent, but a lot. But keep in mind, the projects, for example, Walker Valley Road is a state aid project, and they take care of the striping and all too. So, but he's done several roads. You've got a meeting, is it tomorrow? He's going to give you an update on the striping, but a lot of roads have been striped. It's moving.
Good, thank you.
Anyone else? Go ahead, Mayor.
if I could, this doesn't approve anything as far as the individuals, because they'll have to come back with amendments, but I would appreciate it if you could go ahead and approve the plan so that this is our updated plan when we have to present it with our report to ARP. And this will include what's been approved and what will be approved in the very near future.
Commissioner Slater makes the motion. Do I have a second? Commissioner Hughes on the second. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Yes.
Slater,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Ledford,
Yes.
Rogers,
Yes.
Winters,
Yes.
Beatty,
Yes.
Hughes, Alford,
yes,
Cry,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Collins,
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
Thompson.
yes.
14 in favor and none opposed.
Thank you, and I appreciate that. You have a list coming around. I'll give it a second to get on around. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 appointments to be made to 3 different committees, 1 on the Planning Commission, 3 on the Stormwater Advisory, and 1 on HCI. I respectfully ask for your confirmation of these 5 individuals.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Commissioner Hughes, do I have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Goins, any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Yes.
Slater,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Ledford,
Yes.
Rogers,
Yes.
Winters,
Yes.
Beatty,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
Alford,
Yes.
Cry,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Collins,
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
14 in favor and none opposed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's all I have.
Well, thank you very much. That was quite a bit there. A lot of money transferred around on that one. All right, we're now going to go to the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Goins and Winters. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Goins,
Yes.
Slater,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Ledford,
Yes.
Rogers,
Yes.
Winters,
Yes.
Beatty,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
Alford,
Yes.
Cry,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Collins,
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
and Thompson.
Yes.
14 in favor and none opposed.
Thank you. We'll now go to the reports from committees and or districts. I remind you to please put the red button on if you're talking. We'll start on the right with Commissioner Beatty.
In the first district, I ain't got a lot to report, but I have for the county, all the farmers in the, have been set. They got a drought relief program coming out, and they need to call the Farm Service Agency and set up appointments to get theirs approved. And even the other surrounding counties got in drought relief too.
If I could add to that, Mr. Chairman, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, I guess it is, declared Bradley County as a disaster area for the drought, which will enable farmers to apply for, I guess it's low-interest loans, but anyway, special disaster loans. So that's just been announced in the last day or so, and that'll help a lot of people, because I'm telling you, the drought's really getting bad. There's nothing but dead grass out there now.
No, part of it is like for cattle, they'll pay so much a head on cattle.
Yeah.
Could I ask that the banner consider giving us a little publicity on this? All right, go ahead, Commissioner Beatty. Is that it? Thank you. Commissioner Hughes.
Mr. Chairman, I have nothing to report as far as district-wise. However, you notice my better half is here tonight, keeping an eye on me. I don't normally get in a personal conversation, but tonight I will. We were speaking earlier, and I was talking about the children. And I jokingly said that they really liked me a lot better than they did her. And to my surprise, she agreed with me. I thought I'd just won something. And then I heard her say, "It's when I'm not around." So
Truth
that's all I
finally
have
came
to say.
out.
That's good.
Is that all, sir?
That's it.
All right, Commissioner Alford, please.
Just one comment from Mr. Hughes there, that usually the ones that they don't like is the one that disciplines. So obviously, Mr. Hughes doesn't do that. The wife has to do all that. Other than that, second district's doing well. Thank you. I'm sorry, got one other thing.
Go ahead, sir.
It's on committee reports, Mr. Chairman, due to the fact that we have several commissioners planning to travel during the upcoming holidays, I'd like to move that we cancel the November 27 work session, the December 26 work session, and January the 2nd voting session.
Second.
Do I have that? We have a second from Commissioner Blake. Is there any discussion, please? Commissioner Thompson?
Dates.
November 27, December 26, and January 2.
All December, all January.
Call the question.
Any other?
Obviously, we have no consent on that.
Call the roll, please.
Goins,
Yes.
Slater,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Ledford,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Winters,
Yes.
Beatty,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
Alford.
Yes.
Cry,
Yes.
Blake,
Yeah.
Collins.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
14 in favor and none opposed.
Is that it, Commissioner Alford?
Yes.
Commissioner Blake?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Finance Committee met earlier today and voted a number of recommendations. The first recommendation is to construct a fence at the Justice Center using art money. The mayor just went over that with you. You have a copy of the resolution and the amendment. Mr. Chairman, I put this in the form of a motion. Thank you.
Thank you. Do I have a
Second.
second? Commissioner Slater on the second. Any discussion, please? No discussion. Call the roll, please.
Yes.
Slater,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Ledford,
Yes.
Rogers,
Yes.
Winters.
Yes.
Beatty.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Alford.
Yes.
Cry,
Yes.
Blake.
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
14 in favor, none opposed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Finance Committee also recommended the approval of $196,384.03 final payment for the LIC North project as detailed in the letter before you. Mr. Chairman, I move to accept the Finance Committee's recommendation to approve the budget amendment for LIC North project final amendment. Put that in the form of motion. Thank you.
Commissioner Winters on the second. Do we have any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Goins,
Yes.
Slater,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Ledford,
Yes.
Rogers,
Yes.
Winters,
Yes.
Beatty,
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Alford.
Yes.
Cry,
Yes.
Blake.
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
14 in favor, none opposed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Also before you is a budget amendment recommended by the Finance Committee to pay off the $1,288,913.50 balance of the interfund loan for the workhouse. Mr. Chairman, I place this in the form of a motion. Thank you.
Second.
Commissioner Rogers on the second. Any discussion, please? No discussion. Call the roll, please.
Goins,
Yes.
Slater,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Ledford,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Winters,
Yes.
Beatty,
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Alford.
Yes.
Cry,
Yes.
Blake.
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
14 in favor, none opposed.
Mr. Chairman, the Finance Committee met last month and with 5 organizations requesting funds to prevent, treat, or transition opioid cases. Please keep in mind, we have $171,000 to award, but far more was requested. We voted to recommend awarding 4 of the proposals as detailed on the opioid funding recommendation spreadsheet. You may see that we voted to recommend fully funding proposals from ATS The Bridge and the Boys and Girls Club. We also voted recommending partially funding the Carrying Place and the Foundation House. Mr. Chairman, I move to accept the Finance Committee's recommendation to award ATS The Bridge $65,000, Boys and Girls Club $30,000, Foundation House $25,000, the Carrying Place $50,000. Put that in form of motion. Thank you.
Commissioner Goins on the second. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner?
Mr. Chairman, I have an indirect conflict of interest on this subject. I am a founding member of ATS The Bridge. I acknowledge this, and I will vote my conscience in this election.
Anyone else? Call the roll, please.
Goins,
Yes.
Slater,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Ledford,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Winters,
Yes.
Beatty,
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Alford.
Yes.
Cry,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
14 in favor, none opposed.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. This doesn't require a vote, but I just want to let everybody know the Finance Committee typically meets on the first Monday of each month, like today, due to the New Year holiday and allow committee members time for the return of their travels. The January Finance Committee will be after the January 8th Commission noon work session.
Thank you.
Just a
Anything?
FYI there. Back, I want to, if you don't mind, just a minute. Number 3, when we just paid off the interfund loan of $1,280,913, just to give a little bit more insight on that, the trustee, this is an interfund loan, so it's basically the HCI fund loaning another fund the money internally, governed by the comptroller's rules. As you know, the interest rates are going up, and we have to adjust them and work with the trustee's office. They're going up substantially, so I think this is a good move on our part, and hopefully when we get into the budget of the 24-25, we can aggressively go after the 2 others. The other 2 for all the new commissioners is the ESG project that we did and the Spring Branch as well. So I think this is a very good move that we did to basically close out this loan. That's all I have for now, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Commissioner Winters.
I think this is a momentous moment to be able to pay off the workhouse. Several of us in this commission made that motion to move forward, and it's an honor to be able to say that we're paying that off. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
before you move on, did you do the amendment for the fence? I know you did the resolution, but you also had an amendment today. Is it together? But it's not part of the resolution, though.
Okay, so the amendment is.
While he's looking, this is the part that I look for, because until that amendment occurs, I don't have a line to pay something from, so that's why the amendment always has to happen at some point. And what the resolution said is you're paying for this fence out of the ARP, so the amendment just actually does that. All right.
I know, we're supposed to be paperless by 2024, right? Mr. Chairman, you have before you an amendment. We are decreasing the fund balance by $77,434 out of account 3452, Fund 128. We increase expenses into Fund 128, account 58843, line item 790, other equipment, for the same amount, $77,434. I put that in form of motion. Thank you.
Commissioner Alford on the second. Open for discussion. Call the roll, please.
Goins,
Yes.
Slater,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Ledford,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Winters.
Yes.
Beatty,
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Alford.
Yes.
Cry,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
14 in favor and none opposed.
Thank you. We'll now go to Commissioner Collins, please.
All's well in the third. I have nothing to report. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Winters, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. 60 Highway and I guess the construction that's going on there is really moving forward. The bridge is just about totally completed, but there will be some changing of patterns on that highway that's going to be five lanes. We'll eventually move forward to 2 lanes for the preceding number of months that are ahead. So be very aware as you go through where Cleveland Middle School is, where the highway moves everybody over to what would be the southern side of that road. Also, speed limits in there are posted. There is some movement where you're in such a hurry going down that hill to try to make it wherever we're going that it's very easy to speed through there. Also, we're seeing through stop signs, through stop lights, where the red lights coming on, that there's a lot of movement, it seems like, to be trying to get through that light as it's turning red, and there's a potential of accidents that will be happening, not only on that road, but some other roads involved. I'm one of those guys that's in a hurry, and it's very easy to find yourself moving forward. Congratulations to Lee University on a tremendous homecoming that just went forth. 60 years has gone by since the Lee Singers were formed, and that group was celebrating. Several of the clubs that were begun 60 years ago were celebrating their 60th year, which is showing the stability of that institution and the camaraderie that's a part of the campus there. A beautiful time. A lot of the traffic was going during that time because there were 400 members of one choir here from out of town, most of them, other for their clubs in place. And it seemed like it moved very smoothly with the numbers are in town. But congratulations to Lee University on a great homecoming. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Gilbert.
Yes, Thursday had a wonderful time at the Pie Center. Toured the Pie Center, had Thanksgiving dinner there, and Commissioner Slater's meeting. It was wonderful. I encourage you to go to the Pie Center and take a tour of it. It is amazing what these kids are being able to do and accomplish. And when they graduate high school, what they are going into is full-fledged jobs. Library Centennial, congratulations on 100 years. It was an amazing time there. Thanks for the little token. It was beautiful. And Beauty and the Beast at Bradley High School. If none of y'all got to attend that, you're talking about an amazing performance. It was great. So if you get the chance to go to any of the schools performing arts and stuff, I'm going to try my best to go to quite a few of them if I can. Go to them. That's all I have.
Thank you. Commissioner Thompson, please.
Don't have anything to report, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Goins.
Fifth District's doing well.
Commissioner Slater.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Population Trends Ad Hoc Committee met last week to hear the preliminary results of the Bradley County Schools Capacity Study. The committee asked that the impact of a number of underway residential developments to be considered on the county schools. The Population Trends Ad Hoc Committee will meet again next month to review the findings, and I'll invite all of you to attend the meeting. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Mason, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Wednesday will be our road committee meeting here in the commission room at 9 a.m. I was out on a work detail property this past week, and if you hadn't got a chance to drive out to Bancroft Road, you need to drive from it from end to end on Bancroft Road. They did an awesome job on paving out there. And we've already got a household hazardous waste day. We're going to do a spring household hazardous waste day. I talked to Mayor this week and got together with the sheriff to have it over at our facility at the Justice Center. It'll be March 23rd at 8 a.m. to noon. And that's all I have, Chairman. Thank you.
That was Hazardous Waste Day.
Yes, Household Hazardous Waste Day, and we're going to do a spring.
If I could add to that, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
We have applied with the state to hold a second Household Hazardous Waste Day. We used to fund 2 of them ourselves. They got so expensive, we cut it back to 1. But the state is offered to do us a Household Hazardous Waste in the spring. We've requested that date. They have to see that we meet all the criteria, which we do, but they've not officially gotten back and approved that yet. But that's hopefully will work out, and we'll be doing March 23rd, like you said, and it'll be hopefully at no cost to Bradley County. Household hazardous waste costs us a lot of money, but this one will be a second one with no cost because we don't have enough in a single budget year to do 2.
Thank you. Commissioner Ledford, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let's remember Steve Hartline and his family in our prayers. His daughter had a ATV accident Friday. And second item, I had several issues that I give to Lori. I just want to throw a thank you out to Lori for taking care of those issues for me in great detail. And go Bears. And
Yeah.
I've got a number 5 granddaughter, I just got told Friday, so it'll be my 5th granddaughter. And other than that, Mr. Chairman, 6th District is doing well.
That's great. Wait till the great grandchildren come along. Commissioner Rogers, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I will say go Mustangs as well for Dr. Cash sent back there. Two great teams continuing in the playoffs, and have to thank Coach Alford and again congratulate him, but also thank him for bringing that recommendation to move those 2 dates. That just cost me another couple $100 on vacation there at the end of the month because my wife will want to stay at the beach a couple extra days. So I do want to say on a personal note, I know we didn't have a meeting last week, but last week my Uncle Charlie, who's 97 years old, passed away. And if you knew Charles Howard, Uncle Charlie helped build this community. He was probably one of the most forefront and most well-known plumbing suppliers at Cleveland Plumbing Supply, and he's the reason why my family got involved in the business in the first place, and had been there since 1950s and served as a board member of our company for a long time. But Charles Howard was a legend when it came to building houses and building this community and helping supply this community with products for many years. He was well loved. He was probably one of the most influential people in my life, and just will be very dearly missed. And just wanted to give condolences to my entire family and the entire Howard family, and for that loss. But other than that, Mr. Chairman, that's all I've got.
Thank you very much. We'll move on down to the approval of the agenda. Entertain a motion. Commissioner Hughes, second. Commissioner Gilbert on the second. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Yes.
Slater,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Ledford,
Yes.
Rogers,
Yes.
Winters,
Yes.
Beatty,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
Alford,
Yes.
Cry,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Collins,
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
14 in favor and none opposed.
Thank you. Agenda item A, Commissioner Blake.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Resolution appropriating $154,375 for the Benker Road Water Project in Bradley County to Cleveland Utilities as allowed by conditions and terms of the American Rescue Plan Act for funds allocated by Resolution 2021-50 and authorizing the Bradley County Mayor to execute an agreement with Cleveland Utilities regarding said appropriations. Put that in form of motion. Thank you.
Do I have a second, please?
Second.
Commissioner Goins on the second. Open for discussion. Call the roll, please.
Yes.
Slater,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Ledford,
Yes.
Rogers, Winters,
Yes.
Beatty,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
Alford,
Yes.
Cry,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Collins,
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
14 in favor, none opposed.
Thank you. Agenda item B, Commissioner Blake.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Resolution appropriating $18,750 for Dry Valley Road Water Project in Bradley County to Cleveland Utilities as allowed by the conditions and terms of the American Rescue Plan Act for funds allocated by the Resolution 2021-50 and authorizing the Bradley County Mayor to execute an agreement with Cleveland Utilities regarding said appropriations. Put this in form of motion. Thank you.
Second, please. Commissioner Slater on the second. Open for discussion. Call the roll, please.
Goins,
Yes.
Slater,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Ledford,
Yes.
Rogers,
Yes.
Winters,
Yes.
Beatty,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
Alford,
Yes.
Cry,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Collins,
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
14 in favor, none opposed.
Agenda item C, Commissioner Blake.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Resolution appropriating $124,500 for Kyle Lake Road Water Project in Bradley County to Cleveland Utilities as allowed by conditions and terms of the American Rescue Plan Act from the funds allocated by Resolution 2021-50 and authorizing the Bradley County Mayor to execute an agreement with Cleveland Utilities regarding said appropriations. Put that in form of motion. Thank you.
Do I have a second, please? Second on Commissioner Gilbert. Open for discussion. Call the roll, please.
Goins,
Yes.
Slater,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Ledford,
Yes.
Rogers,
Yes.
Winters,
Yes.
Beatty,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
Alford,
Yes.
Cry,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Collins,
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
14 in favor, none opposed.
Agenda item D, Commissioner Blake.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Resolution appropriating $26,750 for lead mine Valley Road Water Project for Bradley County to include utilities as allowed by conditions and terms of the American Rescue Plan Act from the funds allocated in Resolution 2021-50 and authorizing Bradley County Mayor to execute an agreement with including utilities regarding said appropriation. Put that in form of motion. Thank you.
Have a second, please. Commissioner Slater on the second. Open for discussion. Call the roll, please.
Goins,
Yes.
Slater,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Ledford,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Winters,
Yes.
Beatty,
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Alford.
Yes.
Cry,
Yes.
Blake.
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
14 in favor and none opposed.
Thank you. Agenda item E, Commissioner Blake.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Resolution appropriating $60,625 for the Sim Goodwin Road Water Project in Bradley County to include utilities as allowed by conditions in terms of the American Rescue Plan Act from the funds allocated by Resolution 2021-50 and authorizing the Bradley County Mayor to execute an agreement with Cleveland Utilities regarding said appropriations. Put that in form of motion. Thank you.
Do I have a second, please? Commissioner Mason on the second. Open for discussion. Call the roll, please.
Goins,
Yes.
Slater,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Ledford,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Winters.
Yes.
Beatty.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Alford.
Yes.
Cry,
Yes.
Blake.
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
14 in favor and none opposed.
Okay, agenda item F will be Commissioner Hughes. I'll let him introduce the deal, and then I'll go into a public hearing. Commissioner Hughes.
Mr. Chairman, this is a resolution to rezone from general industrial or I-1 district to forestry agricultural residential or FAR district. Property located at 294 Lead Mine Valley Road, southwest, identified by tax map 065, parcels 057.00. These can be seen on pages 20 and 21. I put that in form of the motion, and the planning commission did request to have that approved.
What was the vote on the planning
I
commission?
believe all are in favor of it.
Okay, we'll now go into a public hearing. Is there anyone here who would like to speak for or against? Anyone in the audience, for or against? Okay. The public hearing is now closed. If there's no further discussion, we'll have the motion. You made the motion. Who's the second? Second on Commissioner Thompson. Open for discussion from the commissioners. Call the roll, please.
Goins,
Yes.
Slater,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Ledford,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Winters.
Yes.
Beatty.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Alford.
Yes.
Cry,
Yes.
Blake.
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
14 in favor and none opposed.
Thank you very much. We'll now go down to communication from the audience. Recognize anyone that would like to speak from the audience. Okay. We'll now go to announcements. Road Committee, November the 8th at 9 a.m. in the Commission Room. Cherokee Hotel Tour, November the 8th at 1 p.m. at the Cherokee Hotel. School Board Work Session, November the 9th at noon at the Central Office. County offices will be closed November the 10th in observance of Veterans Day. Veterans Day ceremony will be November the 10th at 11 a.m. at the Courthouse Plaza. March the 23rd, 8 to 12, Hazardous Waste Day.